Hello. 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 Is anybody unmuted? Hello. Welcome.
Hello. Hi.
We're waiting for a few more folks.
No problem. I'm going to leave the meeting a little bit before 7 o'clock to go on another meeting.
Okay. It looks like I at least got 3 commission members on right now.
Hello, Wayne. How are you?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Still
Thank you
trying
for coordinating.
Okay. No
I
problem.
said thank you for coordinating everything. And I did see the email that you sent Secretary Mitchell in regards to the roll call. Appreciate
Okay.
that.
Yeah, I thought that might be a little easier
Yeah,
to do it from the
definitely.
list because, I mean, if you wait for everybody to try to chime in at the same time, you won't get too far. Okay,
Right.
hold on. Okay.
Commissioner Martin, how are you, sir?
Dante, I like your hair.
Oh, thank you. In the event of my long day, I still try to manage.
And I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. And yourself?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Good.
I love your drapery in the back. Very
Thank you.
nice. Yep.
Thank you.
Is it MJ that just called in?
Looks like a courthouse number, 451.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's a county number. Not sure who that would be.
Tell them who you are.
Okay.
Say, this is Diana.
This is Diana. I'm the chair of the advisory board for the Human Relations Commission,
I'm here with Tony.
and I'm here with Attorney Logue. Excuse me. Okay.
Good evening, Chairwoman Ames. Thank you for joining us, and Director Lowe.
You're quite welcome.
Okay. Has Chris come on yet? Is Secretary Mitchell present?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll wait.
the commission members I have right now is Mike Martin, Tracy Leighton, yourself, for right now.
Okay, thank you. We'll give her about 2 more minutes.
Looks like Chris is joining us, and so is Connie. All right.
Hello.
Hi, Chris. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, you're very welcome. Sorry, I was slow getting in.
That's all right.
Good evening.
Good evening, Commissioner Manis. How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening. Is that Connie? Commissioner Manis?
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. Oh, there she is. Oh, you got the video set up. Okay.
Looks like you have 5 members now. I think you should be good for a quorum.
Cool. Yeah, hey, and Wayne, if you could grant me record permissions, that would be wonderful. And I will try to pick up the recorder tomorrow if you have a recorder for me.
Sure, we'll get that worked out where we can get you a copy of tonight's meeting.
Okay, I was gonna say you can either let me hit record or you can send me the recording, whichever. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to take some of this training myself. I don't see how to let you onto the record. Right
Okay,
offhand. We'll get it worked
Okay,
out.
you'll just give me the file. That's
Right.
if
Yeah,
you want to
that'll
send me the file, that's zip up and send me the file. That's fine.
work. Okay.
Okay, well, it is 6:04 on my computer. So I'd like to call the meeting to order and give the floor to our secretary, Chris Mitchell, for roll call.
Hello. Okay, I'm bringing up the roll call list since Wayne had just sent a roll call list. So one moment. Okay. Okay, Commissioner Shante Pulliam Brown,
Present?
Mary Jo Campbell. Is Mary Jo on? Not yet. Okay. Christine Mitchell, I'm here. Tracy Leet.
Present.
Hi, Tracy. Connie Manis.
Hi, Chris.
Aye.
Hi, Connie.
Oh.
Willie McAdory. Okay. Michael Martin.
Present.
Hi, Michael.
Good evening.
Good evening. John Steiner. Okay, so yes, we do have 5 commissioners. Staff, Director Logue.
Present.
Hi, Director Logue. Wayne, I know that you're on.
I'm here.
Yep. Attorney Brian Spry.
I'm here.
Okay. Attorney Charles Sumawe. Okay. If anybody joins, we can ask them to let us know so we can get them on the record. As being present.
Actually, Mary Jo Campbell's joining us now.
Okay.
Great.
County Counsel Andre Horton. Carl Anderson. Ellen Sharman. Kathy Shop. I believe I saw Kathy on.
I'm here, thank you.
And Doug Smith. Is Mr. Smith on or not? Okay. Is there any advisory board members?
Diana Ames.
Hi, Diana.
Hi, how you doing?
Great. Any other advisory board members? Any other guest or public?
I'm here, Lydia Lee, from Washington Township, but I'm just a guest, not a formal member.
Okay, and your name again was Lydia Lee?
Lydia Lathe, Laythe.
Laythe. Thank you, Lydia. Thank you, Lydia. And I believe they said Mary Jo Campbell, Vice Chair, joined us. Mary Jo, are you on now? Okay, well, we'll check again in a minute.
Mary Jo, you're muted.
Yeah, she's muted.
I'm on. I'm on.
There she-
Great, thank you, Mary Jo. We got you on. We got you on the list now. Thank you.
Okay, I was muted. Sorry about that.
No problem at all. Been there, done that. All right,
Tracy,
I think
quit laughing at me.
I think that's everybody. I think that's everybody.
Okay. Thank you, Secretary Mitchell. Okay, moving on with our agenda to the approval of commissioners' minutes and notes. I'm sure everyone had received the email from Secretary Mitchell in regards to amending the June 23rd minutes. That will include my comments and the clarity of commingling, in addition to the information that I provided from the state regarding the bylaws and the responsibility of the commissioners with the approval of county council to amend the bylaws. I'd like to make a motion to amend the June 23rd bylaws.
Shante, you mean even the ones that she just sent out, or?
It was the
Does
one
she
she,
send-
Secretary Mitchell just sent out, the June 23rd. We weren't able to approve the June 23rd minutes, our last commission meeting, because we had a quorum starting out, but I believe someone had to leave early and we didn't have a quorum, so
That
we
was
had to.
me.
Okay,
I
okay, yep, so.
confess.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, and these are the ones that were just sent out this morning, amending the ones that have been sent out prior with
Mhm,
Shantae's
correct.
additional column, with Shantae's additional comments.
Correct.
Well, I can make a motion to approve the amended minutes.
Okay, can anyone second? Can we get a second to amend the June 23rd minutes?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you.
It's Tracy. I'll second.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Tracy.
Tracy.
Welcome.
Okay, all in favor? Say
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. All right, moving on, the approval of Commissioners July 18th, 2020 minutes. Can I have someone make a motion to approve those minutes?
So
I'll
moved.
move, okay. Who's that?
Mr.
Who
Martin?
just said that?
Commissioner Martin,
Yes, so moved.
okay. Second, please.
Second.
And was that Mary Jo, or was that Tracy who made the second? Connie, thank you,
Connie.
Connie.
Okay, thank you. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed? Okay. All right. Okay, moving on. The next item on our agenda are our guests. I'd like to welcome our guest, who's always with us, Councilwoman Schaaf. Welcome. And we also have a new guest, Lydia Levy. Did I say that right?
Lace.
Lay. Okay, welcome. Would either of you like to make any comments? And if you can introduce yourself and let us know who you are and what you do in the community.
Hi, I'm Kathy. I don't have any comments today. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Yeah, no comments from me either. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, welcome. Okay, moving on to my report. Okay, first on my agenda are a special meeting. Given the information that I was given from Mr. Doug Smith in regards to the difference of having a special meeting and a work session, and because of the nature of the responses that we received from our drafts, from our Director Lowe, we thought that it would be in the best interest of the organization if we work together during a work session. The work sessions are not public meetings, they're closed meetings. And the work session meeting will be strictly for the individuals who are required to present and make up the annual report, which are our commissioners, us as the commissioners, and also our staff. And so that working session will be held the same date and time as our original special meeting, which was scheduled for Wednesday, September 2nd at 6 p.m. So the date has not changed, the time has not changed, just the type of meeting that we're going to hold has changed to a working session.
Madam Chair, I believe the meeting was actually originally scheduled for 5.
Yeah, it's 5, Shantae.
5 p.m. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I was right. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Thank
you're correct. It was listed at 5, which is actually good because I believe Mary Jo and I will have another meeting later that evening. So 5 is
Okay.
actually better.
Well, thanks, Chris. Thanks for keeping my book. I didn't realize I had one after this.
On September 2nd, yes, we do.
Okay, so
Thanks.
that was a 5 p.m. then, okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay, got confused with our regular scheduled 6 p.m. meeting, so that one's going to be an hour prior to our regular meeting time. Okay, got it. Okay, so that's the only thing that has changed for that particular meeting. I would encourage all of our commissioners and our staff, if you have not done so already, to review our draft and be prepared for, you know, providing your feedback and your comments so we can really work collectively together to get this accomplished. Okay. Moving on, I have received, I have received, as well as the hearing panel, an email from Ms. Einan from County Council regarding the scheduling of our hearings. So far, where we're at with that, Attorney Spry had requested that we provide him our availability times and dates. And so we have provided that information to Attorney Spry. So what we're waiting on now is just the first hearing date or the 2 hearing dates. I don't know how many he's looking to schedule us all at once, but we're waiting for that feedback from him. Attorney Spry, if you would like to comment and just kind of let us know where we are on that process. Is there a tentative dates that we're looking at for hearing?
It's being a little bit more difficult than expected or anticipated in scheduling those hearings, coordinating with your availability as well as counsel or the individual pro se parties. So I think at this point, if I can get some dates from them and then provide those to you to coordinate, I think it might work a little bit easier. I don't know if that's...
So are we waiting for dates from the complainant and the respondent right now? Is that what we're waiting for?
Yes.
Have
confirmation that they can work out the same date. One counsel withdrew, so I don't know if that was going to go to public hearing. I don't know if the individual is going to retain counsel or proceed on his own, but I put together a letter to go out for that, so I should have feedback from him hopefully soon. If not, we're going to close his file.
Can you share with us which party the council discontinued? Would that have been the respondent or the complainant?
Well, it would have been the complainant. I mean, I can't tell you specifically his...
No, not the name, just which party.
Yeah, it was counsel withdrew from the complainant's representation.
Okay.
And unfortunately, we've had this issue before with the same person. And I spoke with Director Logue about this, but there's not really any enforcement we can, or action we can take to approve that. Or, you know, I don't know if they're filing frivolous claims or if they're taking a retainer and then once they get that, bowing out. I'm not sure what's going on.
Are we able to follow up with them just to see exactly where they are in the process? Because to my understanding, and you can correct me if I'm misinformed, that this is a time sensitive, that we have to have the hearing done in a certain date to comply with the law. Is that correct? Is there an expiration on moving forward with the hearing?
Well, the recommendation is here of the complaint being filed. I mean, the two that are, I'm trying to coordinate that I believe will go to public hearing. It's been well over a year. I mean, these are cases that are lagging from the previous executive director caseload. But like I said, I think at this point to try to coordinate dates with them, and then once I have dates that they can agree on, come to you guys with, I mean, trying to work within your parameters that the hearing panel has provided, rather than, and I don't know if you're amenable to go outside of that, but it doesn't seem like Mondays and Fridays are very good days.
Oh, Mondays and Fridays were. I know everyone was available on Friday. Friday was definitely an option. So can I just ask, how are we reaching out to them and trying to coordinate? Is it through email? Is it through phone call? How are we reaching out and asking them what days they are available.
Well, it's been both. Primarily done through email, though.
Okay. Okay, can we follow up with the complainant and see, where they are in the process? And, if they want to move forward with counsel, if they're looking for further counsel, can we just kind of get some feedback from them? And then the second question is, did we have more than one hearing scheduled? So is this the case with all of the hearings that we had scheduled? I thought you said we had about 4.
Yeah, I
Well,
thought there were at least 2 or 3 that were pretty much ready, and that's why we had all the hearing panel
Dates
and
and
all
stuff.
the alternates provide availability, so you could try to come up with enough people for between the panel and the alternates for availability to get some dates scheduled, because you have multiple dates you were trying to coordinate.
Right. One with the attorney issue is one of the 3. The other 2, the complainants do want to go forward.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Attorney Sprite. You said the complainant.
They do want to proceed, yes.
Okay, so have we reached out to those parties or those separate hearings to coordinate dates with them, or is that something that we're working at now?
No, we're working on those. Well, I'm focusing on those 2. The third one, I have to get confirmation from the complainant on the 3rd whether or not he is going to pursue it with or without counsel.
Okay. And how soon will we be contacting them to get that confirmation?
How?
How soon will we be contacting them to gather that information?
I'll have confirmation this week.
Okay.
And when you say confirmation, you're talking specifically about the date.
Right, I'm talking specifically about the dates, because what I'm hearing is that you're saying that's what's holding up the other 2 hearing, or at least one of the hearing, is
Right.
the date.
Right.
Correct?
Yes, the 2 complainants still want to go forward.
Okay. Okay, so we'll have that information this week, hopefully.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned again that you said Friday was bad, but Friday was available for the hearing panel during the day, and Mr. Smith mentioned that he might, if we couldn't get county council chambers during the day, that he might be able to get the jury room if you want to do it on a Friday during the day, if that works. That Mr. Smith had offered to pursue the jury room for that.
Yes, I'm aware that that's available.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure that we had all the all the availability options, so that we weren't needlessly limiting ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
So Brian, can you just clarify what you think the barrier is to scheduling in this situation?
What the issue is?
The scheduling issue.
Yeah, like what's your take on what the issue is with getting it scheduled? I know, but on our end or on the end of the attorneys?
Getting it, no, I guess getting a date that works for everybody, a date and time.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have all the information you need from us, and you have the
correct.
availability of the chambers and the conference room. So now we just need to get the dates for the complainant and the respondent, correct?
Correct. And then to coordinate who's going to be the hearing, I guess who's going to comprise the hearing panel from that.
Could I just raise a question again as the new kid on the block? And is it up to the commission to set the date for the hearing, or is it up to the complainant to tell us what date they'd like to have their hearing?
I guess it's obviously we can just schedule it and force it, but out of, I guess, courtesy to the parties to confirm with their availability. obviously, if that doesn't work, then we can force the issue.
Well, and I understand that, but I think what I'm hearing is that there's some commission members who've said certain dates would work, and that for the hearings, and if they don't work for the complainant, then they should be able to tell us real quickly. Otherwise, I would like to think that we as an organization should be controlling those dates as best we can, because we're all volunteers. And if the people are going to hear these cases are going to give up their time, I would like to think that we'd schedule and say, okay, this is our time slot. What's your objection to us not holding it then? That's just,
Yeah, Mr. Martin, I think that's a great point. I mean, if we give them dates and, they say they aren't able to, then we can set another date. I think that you're absolutely right. We should have control over the date and time.
I mean, this is the organization that is the volunteers. Everybody on this commission is giving up personal time. And it almost sounds like the complainant is controlling the people who are going to hear the case instead of the other way around. And I think that's important that we take, as an organization, as much control as we can in this, because again, any of you are going to hear these cases, you're giving up your own personal time. So I'd like to see us do it that way. And if for some reason they can't make it, we reschedule it until they either, they almost like you get 3 shots at them. If you can't make any of our dates, then maybe we'll never hear your case. I mean, we can't maybe take that hard of attack, but I think we need to, because it also sounds like some of these cases are multiple years old, so it sounds like there's no statute of limitations on these either.
Well, I guess, with the 2 cases, it's kind of past the year. Otherwise, it would be required to handle it. But the issue is also with the respondent and setting up and scheduling with their witnesses also.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just like a regular hearing, though, I mean, if they are supposed to be in court at a certain date, they're the respondent, they should be making that date.
Well,
that's my only observation, so.
Yeah, what dates do we have, what dates we're actually proposing to these people if we're going to try to get a date coordinated, this week? Do we have which dates that you're actually proposing to them?
It was in September. I don't have my computer in front of me.
Okay, but you have dates selected
that
you have some dates selected in September that you are proposing to them.
Yeah.
Do we have county council availability? Do we have availability? You have dates that you are proposing. So we've reached that point.
Propose. I don't believe he's proposed anything yet, but do you have dates available that you can propose to the complainant and the respondent?
Yes, and those are based on the information provided in the emails.
Okay.
We gave them a while ago.
So again, just like and I think Shante, you said this, if you have a court appearance scheduled by the judge, you show up.
Yep.
You might ask for a delay in the hearing, but again, everybody's going to be volunteering their time. I think it's important that your time be respected. So I'd like to see us schedule these and then see what happens.
I agree.
I'm going to go back.
All right, I mean, I can just schedule it and then let them respond to it. And I'll schedule it in accordance with the availability of the panel and, put it on them then to raise the issue. And, if they want to continue that, I'll present that then at least on their behalf.
Well, I don't think the respondent has a choice as to whether they want to continue. I think we're giving the respondent a little bit too much liberty as well, especially if we're setting the date for them to appear before us.
Well, we're trying to coordinate the date. I mean,
I think there's more people on that side to coordinate with than there is on our side. That's what I'm getting.
But if we don't take control and say, hey, this is what we have to do, let them object to the date, but say, hey, your hearing is scheduled for this date. We anticipate you to be there. If you can't make that date, please let us know by this date that you're not going to make it, and give us some alternative dates, so we might be able to see if we can't put our commission hearing board together.
Mm-hmm.
If they've been,
Well, I think there's also a couple of issues going on here. I think we need to consider, you know, we've given a lot of options as far as the hearing panel. I think we've given ample availability in daytime and evening hours. Issue, are they delaying this because they don't actually want to show up for a hearing? Or is this like they're just not taking the next steps to secure their witnesses for the date? You know, I think it's important that we have a balance of like, we're going to control all of this and we're going to be accommodating. I think there's a really delicate balance there between controlling, because we do serve the public, and balancing or saying, okay, this is when we're available. But if we don't put out a couple of dates to secure that, then I think it just kind of allows the respondent to continue to push this back, and that's not acceptable any longer.
Right, and just to piggyback off what you said, Commissioner Lee, if we do provide those dates, then that will kind of you know, unction them to give us a reason as to why they are canceling. You know, why can't you make this date? You know, what is the reason behind it? So that holds them accountable as well.
Yeah, that's fine. Like I said, I'll send them out a notice of public hearing and let them respond to it.
Yeah, because I'm sure the complainants want to get this through.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I said I'm sure the complainants want to get this processed.
Right, of course.
Okay, so we're all in agreement to provide the tentative dates to the complainant and the respondent and to await their response on that date. Those dates will be sent out by Attorney Spry, correct? Just beforehand? Okay. Okay, we're all on the same page?
Yep.
Thank you,
Sounds
Commissioner
good.
Martin, for your comments. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on to okay, we talked about the scheduling, we have that. The fact finding, Attorney Spry, you had mentioned during our last meeting that you were in the process of fact finding. Is that an additional hearing, or is that one of the current hearings? Is that a forthcoming hearing, or is that one of the ones that we're looking to schedule for?
No, that would be, the complainant just filed her complaint. That is put together and going out tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So that will be forthcoming within the next couple of weeks for a fact finding.
Okay. Now with the fact finding, will you also be assisting us during the hearing panel?
Yes.
Okay. So with that, this is where, you know, the commingling arose. We're going to need to have one of our panel attorneys participate in the fact finding. If you're a part of the investigatory process, that attorney will just be a part of the investigatory process. If that's assisting Wayne, doing that portion. And then the other attorney would be a part of the adjudicatory process, and that would be participating with us and assisting us during our hearing. If we have fact finding being done by the same attorney, that is a conflict of interest. It's just like having a judge do the work of an attorney, collect all the data and information, and then also determine the decision, you know, of that client. So I'm going to, you know, turn the floor to Mr. Lowe, Attorney Lowe, and see how he would like to move forward with that in the near future, and then also currently. I'm assuming if Attorney Spry has been a part of the investigatory process, which is the fact-finding process, we will have to request Attorney Sinwabi to assist us in the hearing. Mr. Lowe, if you could comment on that a little bit, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And my name is pronounced Logue, so just for future reference.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's all right. So with respect to commingling, we're not going to follow that practice as the state does. We have 2 panel attorneys. That's it. The problem that I see with what you want to proceed with, and maybe it's okay for the state because they have a number of attorneys, but here we have 2. So I'm not going to direct, like Attorney Spry, to start the case, and then when the case is ready for a hearing, turn it over to Attorney Sunwabi, who then would have to backtrack and reread everything, meet with everybody, and rebuild the county for that amount of money that's already been tilled. So again, I know what you're saying, I understand what you're saying, but it doesn't work for this organization. And I've said no to this before, and I'm saying no again. It just does not fit.
Well, Attorney Lowe, I don't think that this is a matter of choice. I think this is something that lawfully, this is how the organization should be run. You know, it's not about the way the state is doing it. It's about providing our clients fairness, you know, and that fairness cannot be a combination of the person that's assisting in the decision making also collecting the data. To my understanding, previously, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Harbison was doing the investigations. And the investigations is the fact finding a part of that. And if not, again, this is just the legality of it all. And if we need additional funds, I think to be able to ensure that we are treating our citizens fairly in the legal process, then we need to ask them for more funding so that we can pay the attorneys to assist us in both capacities.
Well, Madam Chair, I don't see where there's something illegal what's going on here. If you can cite to me either through the ordinance or our bylaws or any place else, I've been an attorney 30 years. I've never heard of this before. Now, our funds are limited, and it only makes common sense to have one attorney handle the case all the way through. It makes a heck of a lot of sense, to be quite honest with you. And therefore, I'm not going to suggest that. And as you know, I have day-to-day operations of this office, and I'm not going to interrupt the flow of what's going on here. So therefore, to me, commingling, it might happen at a bigger level at the state, but in this office, one attorney will take the case from the beginning and work it all the way through.
Okay, well, I think if you stand firm on that decision, I'd like to first hear the comments of our commissioners, and I would like to take this situation in front of County Council as well, and give them the information, and also see what they have to say about this as well. Comments, please.
Okay, what would Wayne's role, would Wayne have a role in the investigation? Is that what we're looking at? For him to investigate it and then the attorneys to put it together? Is that what we did before?
Yes, Wayne will meet initially, most of the time, will initially meet with the complainant and discuss with them really the basis of a case and whether or not they have one. And at that point, you know, they'll fill out the intake questionnaire form. After speaking with Wayne and providing it to Wayne, and so he is definitely part of the investigatory process, as well as playing a role in the fact-finding conference.
Okay. So he does play a role in the fact finding. Okay, I get it.
So here's my question. How was the Erie County Human Relations Commission, this organization, set up at the outset? What were the requirements, or what were the thoughts of how what you're raising, and I'm ambivalent to which way it ends up, but how was it set up that the investigations should happen? And is there any history that we could fall back on to research that? Because to Attorney Logue's point, our budgets are slim, and it almost sounds to me like when our attorneys get involved, they're not defending or prosecuting, they're finding fact to see if a case can move forward. So I'm not so sure if, I guess I don't have enough information to be able to make a conscious decision one way or the other, how I really feel about this.
Just a question then, because of course, I'm also new to the commission, 2 years in. So I guess this question will be addressed to Mr. Harbison, who has done the investigation. How was the fact finding carried out before Attorney Spry took his position?
This is Commissioner Connie. I wanted to reference Mr. Martin and also President
We lost you,
Brown.
Connie.
Having a couple of years, I think that President Brown has a valid point here. The incident that took place previously in previous years may have been of a suspicious nature or whatever. I don't want to speak out of turn here, but having to put that forth, like President Brown is indicating, may be the reflection that we are moving in a better direction. And you always want to give that your best appearance, because what happened in the past may be a reflection, and we want to put our best foot forward as if we are trying to do a better way of looking at this. This is what I want to bring that up, because that was really something to get through, and an outward appearances looking in, President and Carson being aware that we might want to look at that.
Thank you, Commissioner Manis. And Commissioner Manis can speak from someone who's been on the commission for many years. How many years have you served on the commission? So she's familiar with some of the cases and just the process. How many years have you been on the commission, Ms. Commissioner Manis?
4 years, as long as Carol Lowe has been on that with the county. It's been several years, and it was really a hardship to be a new person and have us taken by all these things that were taking place. So I think you're taking the right route, President.
Thank you for your comments.
I'm with you. I agree that I think this needs to be explored further, because I don't think that any of us have a real comprehensive. And I think looking at and exploring, Wayne was the investigator. So, just because we have attorneys on board, I don't know why that means that Wayne is no longer the investigator, and that would eradicate the problem if we had an investigator, which wouldn't cost as much as attorneys. We'd explore that as a cost-efficient solution to this problem.
Right.
And somebody that's properly trained. And Wayne, this is no offense to you, because I don't know if you were trained or not trained, but and I'm not sure how your role, I'm kind of understanding how your role has transpired over time. So please don't take offense to that. But I know that if I was in your position, I would want to be trained on how to do this job properly, not based on the experience of how you came in when this was a dysfunctional organization.
Yeah, certainly I think training is a big issue, and we've done some. I would like to have had some more with the state on how some of the things they've done. But I still do quite a bit of the investigation work here, though some of my duties have been switched over to do some of the administrative assistance work, but we've had some other help here in the office. So I am still doing the investigation process. And I think all of us here in this office, including the panel attorneys, agree that we're trying to make sure that either party, both parties, are served equally and fairly. We're not here to take the side of the complainant or the respondent, and we're here, that's what we're to do, and we make sure that we're not trying to one-track mind somebody, they're out of a complaint or into a complaint or anything like that. So again, it's all in individual cases, and we try to do the best we can to do the investigation and keep things separate and above board.
Can I ask a question about when we did the last hearing that we had? There was only it was Attorney Spry and Attorney Logue, all right?
Mm-hmm.
But Attorney Spry was the one that gave us a lot of the information. Who did the investigation for that? And then when did Attorney Spry come in?
Yeah, that actually probably would have been initially done under investigator Heidi Meyer, who was here at the time. and served under Joe Agulia. She left in April of 2016. I came in about November 2016. This case had already been to the point where went through I believe the fact finding, at least the hearing was already in the process back when Heidi was still here.
So your predecessor, not one of the panel attorneys, your predecessor.
You're exactly right.
Did that. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Harbison, for your comments.
Wayne, you had said that you have other in the office. Who else is working in the office besides you and Attorney Spry and Sumabi and Director Lowe?
Advisory board member Diana Ames has come in and volunteered a lot of her time to do some of the things she likes to try to do with the advisory committee. That's been offered to both chairman if they want to come in, do some things, and she's chosen to come in and spend some time. She answers her phone from time to time, give us messages in case we're out for lunch or something like that. But she's been valuable here to try to keep things going. We'd hoped to be able to work with interns this past summer with the COVID thing. That just didn't happen. So her contributions have been really helpful in just, the things that the advisory committee would really like, advisory board would really like to get into.
And Wayne, did you say it was offered to both?
I wasn't aware.
Chair, I didn't know that was offered either.
Yeah, from my understanding, both chairmen were given keys to the office. Now the keys have been changed because we did change the locks to the paddle locks for ADA compliance. But originally, I believe both of you were given keys to the office to come in, and we'd hope to have a computer for other non-county use. We couldn't tie those in, but have that available for the folks over here in this conference room.
Right, that is correct. We both were given keys, but I was not offered to come in and do any work or assist in the office. So I just want to clarify that.
Well, that's one of the reasons why this office was set up like this way. It really was to do that.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that though, because you said that we were both offered.
I have a question. Again, thank you. I also have another question. Is there any conflict of interest with Ms. Ames working in the office there, taking phone calls, having access to charts with her role at the advisory board? And I'm ignorant to these things, and I just want to make sure that that's all above board, because as a commissioner, I didn't know that was happening. And I feel like that's, again, part of the transparency of the office is letting us know who's working in the office under whatever capacity. I don't care what it is. I feel like that's something we should know as a commission.
Can I address that? Do you mind?
Yes, ma'am. Chairwoman.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I don't care who addresses it.
Well, I think it should be me.
Sure.
Okay. I'm here for a reason. I have worked for 3 decades, if not longer, with individuals that are homeless, very low and very low income. Myself, my husband and I and my family, we've been homeless. I get it. And it's important to me to work with those folks. It's really important to me to work with those folks. And I have found the perception is if you're homeless if you want to be. And I have found out over the years that is not nearly true. People are accepting, they accept their situation when they feel that they don't have a choice. But when you give them a choice, it's utterly amazing to me how they work hard to make a difference in their lives. And I think, and I don't want to get off on a tangent here, but it's one of the things that I believe in terms of the Human Relations Commission is this is part of how shall I say it, how people feel about themselves in the situations that they're in. And one of the things that I've noticed about Wayne, Attorney Logue, Attorney Spry, and both attorneys is that we all kind of work together to make a difference here. That doing something with the poverty is very, very important. And I think it's something we should do. And I'm done now. Sorry.
Well, let me clarify one thing. Diana's not.
Let me just clarify. Thank you.
Ms. Lee, please, you may respond. Go ahead.
I
Commissioner
just
Lee?
want to clarify, I'm not questioning your intentions of why you're working in the office. I mean, I obviously understand that your dedication to being on the advisory board and your dedication to the organization as a whole and to overcoming poverty and homelessness and those things is a part of the mission and your own personal mission. I wasn't questioning that at all. All I wanted to make sure was that everything we're doing in this commission now is all above board. And having an advisory board member work in the office seems to me like it could be a conflict. And that's why I'm asking. And maybe one of the panel attorneys need to respond to that because I just don't know. So I wasn't questioning your intentions at all, Diana. I was just
No, I'm not
wanting to clarify everything is above board with what we're doing moving forward.
Well, Commissioner Leet, this is Director Logue. Let me help you understand. When I took over, part of my vision and plan here, and I believe Councilwoman Schaaf has heard me say this before, I've said I've opened this office up to everybody who wanted to come here. If they have a committee, they could bring their committee here. If they have other issues that they want to bring forward and work on them here, they can do that. This office lacked that before. It lacked transparency. So if anybody wants to come here and work on specific issues that can help this community, such as homelessness, such as housing, public accommodation, we're the Erie County Human, I'll repeat that, human relations. And if anybody can help other people in this community that are less fortunate or have a problem dealing with people, that we can intercede and help them, I'm all for that. I don't see any conflict whatsoever with Diana Ames or anybody who wants to come in here. I've tried to touch base with other people to bring them in here and have different community activists come in here. And if they want to meet in here, and this is why we have that room, and everything was going good until the COVID hit. And I hate to repeat that every month.
Well, that's true.
And so that's where we're at with this. So conflict, no. Helpful, yes. Thank you.
And I will,
I think what
share this, that I have a friend that runs the National Alliance to End Homelessness. Her name is Nan Roman. And she had asked me to come out to DC, a couple months ago, was it? And I wasn't able to go. And we talked a great deal. She's assigned a gentleman for me to work with. One of the things that she thinks would be successful in Erie, just Erie and Erie County, is just some of the things that I was telling her about. And that's creating an empowerment committee, which is individuals that are homeless, formerly homeless, low and very low income, but would like to make some changes. It's very difficult to make changes if you don't reach out to the people that you need to make changes for. And I think it's something that, it is something that's working. It's slow. I'm not going to say it's not, but we're having some success with it. And I'd like to, I plan on continuing to do it. And that's it.
Can I say something? This is Mary Jo. I don't think the issue is whether you're working there, Diana. We didn't know it. That's the issue. The issue is if you're going to have somebody work in the office, because whenever Attorney Spry and Zimbabwe came in, Mr. Logue told us about that they were coming. Now that we know that you're there, that's a different. I mean, it was just you have to make sure people know what's going on. That's all. And I think it was a fact.
Right. We understand. We understand that. You know. What we're asking for, and just piggybacking off of Commissioner Leeds, the concern is transparency. The concern is if someone is going to be working in the office, we're not talking about projects. You said working in the office, helping with secretarial work is what I'm understanding. The commissioners need to know that. It's not just about what the executive director wants to do and how he wants to do it. With all respect, Mr. Logue, we are the commission, we are the board, and we should know, what is going on in the office. We should know who's in the office, what they're working on, what projects they're working on, because you're not just accountable to the office or to the volunteers, you're accountable to county council, to city council, to the commissioners, and we are all, as you said, the Erie County Human Relations Commission, we are Erie County as a whole. And so what our concern is not the qualifications or the passion of or the heart of Chairwoman Ames is not in question. You know, we appreciate what you do. We know that you've been doing this for many years, the advocacy that you do, and we appreciate that. That is not in question, and that is not the issue. The issue is the transparency. The issue is we want to make sure what is going on in the office, who's in the office, what type of work they're doing, because again, what we had in the past, we do not want to show up in the present. And the only way by doing that is by holding the office accountable, by knowing.
Well, can I make a comment, please? This was discussed with the county clerk. He didn't seem to have an issue at that time with her coming to do some of the stuff that she wanted to do. She is not involved in any of the cases. We do not share that type of information with her. She may take a message from somebody, but
the county clerk is still not the commission. We are the board.
We're answerable to the commission.
You're also answerable to the commissioners. We are the board. You know, I don't know where this is coming from that you aren't liable to the commission.
This was something, again, that was both people were invited to be able to do those things in the office. Nobody brings it.
Who else was invited, Mr. Harbison?
I know we've talked.
I wasn't.
When you were given a key, I think.
I was given a key for transparency because the office was found someone living in the office prior.
To make it available for you to come in. That's
but it wasn't for me to work. It wasn't for me to work. So let's be really clear about that.
That's not my understanding. But okay.
Wait, listen. Would it be better for you if I stayed home and did this? Is that what you're saying?
It would be better. It would be better if we knew when you were there, what you were doing.
Well, I'm there every day.
When you started, and that's not for you to provide. That's for our director, Mr. Lowe, to provide. So, you know, I would not have an issue with you. And it's not a direct attack against you. It's about the transparency and all of us being collectively on one accord with what's going on in our office.
It's a two-way street.
Oh, I thought it was. I don't know.
I'm sorry, Mr. Harbison? I didn't hear.
Transparency is a two-way street.
Or could you clarify what you mean by that? Is there something that you're particularly referencing?
I would really like to discuss this right now.
Well, I'm going to say this. One of the last things that I am is I'm by nature transparent. I don't know how to do anything else. I don't know how to slip around or do anything. It's really important to me when I've worked for the census. This will be the fourth time. I'm so sick and tired of hearing about how poor everybody is in Erie and Philadelphia. I don't really give a damn about Philadelphia. I live here in Erie, and I think something should be done.
Ms. Ames, I'm going to ask you to please be respectful and not use
I will. I'm sorry. I'm saying nothing else. That's it. If you don't want me doing this, say so. It's that simple.
Could I come back?
We're going to move on. Go ahead, Mr. Commissioner Martin. And after your comment, Commissioner Martin, we're going to move on.
Well, thank you, because I really think that we're just in uncharted territory, and I think moving on is going to be better for everybody. And I appreciate your direction on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on with the agenda. The Zoom trainings. And I think Commissioner Martin had brought this up. Last year, the regional office were going to provide us with trainings, but that kind of fell by the wayside with COVID and just the whole issues going on. So I did follow up with the regional director, Lyle Wood, and he agreed that he would be willing to provide us, the commissioners, the staff, the advisory board, with Zoom trainings. So that's good news. So what I'd like to request from all of you, I know a lot of you shared what topics and subjects and information in our ordinance and our bylaws that you would want to be trained in. But if you could just email myself, of course, CC our director. You can also CC our chairwoman Ames, and just kind of give us a list of some of the things that you would be interested in. A lot of people brought up the hearing process. A lot of people brought up the investigation process. I think Attorney Spry last year wanted to know if there were trainings that could be provided by their attorney. I believe that's also available. So that is definitely something that is going to be forthcoming to our commissioners and to our staff and advisory board.
Okay. That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is there any details on that or just that it's coming?
Not as of yet, just forthcoming. Lyle Wood, he just said if you just want to send him a couple topics. He also said he would provide me with some topics that he could actually train us into. So we'll be getting some information from him forthcoming on what some of the topics could be, and also whatever we want to add to that list as well. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we'll have a little bit more information about that, but that's where we are thus
Perfect.
far.
I just wanted to have a good status. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I believe you said it best. We don't know what we don't know. So for somebody to come up and say, these are the things we can train you on, let us check those off. So yeah, I'm interested in that. I think that would be better because I don't know what I don't know, if that makes sense.
Right.
It makes all kinds of sense for me. Let me tell you.
I'm
But you go both ways. That's why I said both ways, you know, because there's some of us we know a little bit because we've been on the commission a little bit longer. So we know that we don't know a lot about the hearing process. You know, we know we don't know a lot about the investigation process. Whereas for you, you know, you don't know exactly what you want. So if we put our list out there, they provide their list, you can kind of pick and choose from there.
I mean, I've served on a zoning board for 25 years. I served on a state judicial conduct review board where we reviewed judges. We had some clue what we're doing. This would be nice if we could say, hey, this is what we do. All right. So it would be a big help to me.
It's kind of a general overview of what the office does, the HRC's mission. Okay.
And these are the Zoom meetings we could have to discuss whatever. And then we could say, yeah, that'd be very interesting. So.
So I guess our expectation will be is that we will have a list of what's available shortly, and then we can add to that if we have other ideas.
And in addition to an overall overview of what Mr. Martin is referencing,
right. Starting with an
overall
overview.
process of what the HRC office does, its mission, and the processes.
Starting with overview to whatever other things are available. Perfect.
Correct. Okay. Also, with the Zoom trainings, there is a lot of trainings that are going on, not just on a state level, but throughout the country for the Human Relations Commission, that they have been providing Zoom trainings to the community. So some of the advisory board members, some of the directors are providing training, kind of similar to what Mr. Martin is talking about, just an overall summary of what the HRC does. But in addition to that, for the community is how they can contact the HRC, what type of issues do we help with, who to contact, those type of things. So I think that would be something that if we did that, that would really be beneficial to the community. Because again, we want people to know who we are, what we do, and that we're here to help and serve the community. So I hope that we could coordinate something with our advisory board and see if we can get some trainings, and also coordinating something with our director to try to get some Zoom training and advertise that and just get more information out into the community. I think that would be a win-win for us moving forward. Any comments? Mr.
Sounds like a good idea.
Is there any update on the flyer that we were working with? Is there any update on that at this point?
I received an email from Ms. Buys a couple of days ago, and she CC'd Ms. Temfer, and they're coordinating a meeting pretty soon here. She didn't give any dates yet. She sent the email to Freda. Freda hasn't responded, so they're still trying to coordinate a meeting.
Perfect. I was just curious in case anybody asked for an update on that. We have one. Perfect.
And just in regards to the Zoom trainings, Mr. Logue, is that something that you would be interested in providing to the community and coordinating something with the advisory board?
Well, when you look at the Zoom language, it has Zoom training available on the Zoom app. So one of the steps myself and Mr. Harbison are taking are right from the Zoom people themselves. We can certainly add that onto the website, ask the webmaster if he's willing to place that on there, and it's free of charge, obviously. So the general public should be aware of that if they're using Zoom, that there is an instructional component to the Zoom, and it's free. So that's what we're doing here.
Well, my question was, would you be interested in providing trainings to the community in regards to the work that we do with the HRC, and just some general information? Some of the stuff that I've seen throughout the state and just the country across the board with the HRC offices are, as I said, directors and advisory board members providing trainings to the community when it comes to racism, when it comes to discrimination, those type of things. Would that be something that you would, you know, collectively help us get you started with and providing? Is that something that you would be able to do or want to do?
I'd have to think on how to design such a program and look into it. So I'll start thinking about that, but that's a good thought.
Okay. Was there a comment?
Yeah, I have one. We actually were looking to try to set something up with EEOC to come in and do something here, but we'd like to maybe transfer that over to a Zoom type of training with the EEOC people out of Cleveland.
Okay. Did you have a topic for that training as of yet, or it's just right now just getting in the
It'll be
works?
mostly related to employment, since everything they do is related to employment. We'd like to do something similar with HUD for the housing.
Okay, I know we focus a lot on employment and HUD with trainings, but have we ever got outside of the box beyond employment and HUD? And like I said, provide training on, you know, discrimination and, you know, just what the office does. I think we should kind of try to look beyond just.
The PBI provides a lot of different trainings. There's a lot of trainings out there. If you have some that you would like to share with us that we could go to, I would certainly be interested in doing that. But we've been looking at. Some of those get fairly expensive, though, especially if you're looking for certification to come from the training.
No, I don't think it will be certifications. I have some information I can definitely share with you. And Mr. Harbison, I'm sorry, what is P? You said PMI?
PBI.
PBI.
That's a Pennsylvania Bureau of, they're a training outfit out of Southern PA that does a lot for attorney and employment type of trainings. They sponsor trainings in Pittsburgh, a lot online, some on, some mostly by online, I think.
Okay, thank you. That concludes my report. And I'd like to turn the floor over to our Executive Director, Mr. Tony Logue.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So currently we're holding at 10 cases. We have probably 4 possible new cases, and out of those 4, 2 are housing. I'm expecting an uptick in housing in that I believe the governor is instructing people to, the evictions can now proceed. And so following different bigger cities and watching what's going on in there, I do expect that to occur. So we'll be probably gearing up from that and trying to more or less cut the wheat from the shaft, so to speak, where whether this is truly a landlord-tenant issue or there's some type of discriminatory issue that's evolving where the landlord wants to evict the person based on that reason, but trying to couch it in the form of a landlord-tenant, whereas you're not paying your rent or you're too loud or some other type of issue. So we're looking at those, and I do expect more of those to be coming in. I think we've spoken about with Attorney Spry regarding the dilemma about getting these hearings scheduled, so we tilled that pretty well. And other than that, I think that will conclude my report, and things are going good at the office. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director Logue. Okay, moving on. Do we have any new business? New business? Okay, I have a little bit of new business. It is my duty to appoint a motions chair. And the role of the motions chair is to make sure that the documents that are submitted by the complainant and the respondent are present during the hearing. Coordinating that, I don't know if we ever had a motions chair before, but to be able to coordinate that, I think the best way to do that is to, if Attorney Spry, if you could provide just a checklist of the information that is being submitted for the hearing by our complainant and by our respondent. That way, my appointee, who I'm appointing Commissioner Leet, to take this role as motion chair. That way she will have the information she needs to check off and confirm that we have the documents that we need to deliberate on.
So I'm clear, what type of a checklist and what are you, I guess, looking for?
The checklist would involve the information that is being submitted for us to review. So if, like, prior to one of our prior hearings, say someone provided a list of their tenants, so that would be on the list. Number one, a list of tenants was provided. Or, number two would be receipts are being provided. Number three is presented the demographics of the individuals who were provided residency. So we would have a checklist of what we are being presented with and being able to confirm that with those individuals, or with you, rather.
Well, the issue becomes with that is that documents that are obtained pursuant to the investigation are not exactly documents that are going to be introduced at the public hearing. So, I would defer to either the parties or their counsel to provide exhibit lists on their case. I mean, I can't.
Okay, yeah, if that's how you want to do it, that's fine. But I just throwing an idea out there how it can be done. So if their counsel wants to provide that list, yeah, that's fine. If they want to provide that list, that's fine. Our motion chair would just have to confirm that, and we would have to verify that we have the information that they are looking for us to have during the hearing.
Okay, but are you speaking then that they would need to file a motion to? What kind of a motion would?
No, they don't file. There's no motion. If there's no motion filed, just the title of the motions chair. That's just the title of her role, is the motion chair. She's not making a motion. We're not voting on anything. She's just making sure, she's going in the motion of making sure that we have everything that we need and that we have been presented for the hearing.
Okay.
I also have a question about that.
And that
if
is
I'm on the hearing committee, is that a conflict?
No, it is not. No, it is not. That's the clause of the motion chair is in our ordinance. I could work with Chris and provide that to Chris, that particular ordinance, so you know exactly what the role is moving forward.
Thank you.
But no, you're welcome.
Is there another organization that has this type of a position in it that we could perhaps get examples of what it is you're describing, so it'd be easier for everybody to understand?
Yeah, well, what I'll do, I'll provide the clause that's in the ordinance, because it talks of the role, it speaks of the role. And if you have any questions from there, I could reach out to one of the other organizations and actually see, answer any questions that you may have.
Does the state HRC have a motions chair, and if so, what?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I collected this information from our particular ordinance.
Okay. Again, I'd go back and ask then, what was the intent of that from the origins of the charter of our HRC? Because it'd be interesting just to know that. And I don't know if we have a historian who could come back with that information.
Well, I think it's just to make sure that we have everything that was given. I think that's what it is, to get another set of eyes, to make sure that we're being thorough. I think it's just being a part of the process of being thorough.
Okay, thank you.
But I can gather that information for you, though, Commissioner Martin.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, would that individual then be charged with overseeing or making the decision on a motion to dismiss?
No. They would simply be in charge of making sure that we have the documents that were provided to us. And also they will make sure that the outcomes are being filed where they need to be filed as well. That was also in the ordinance. They're the overseer of the paperwork, or just the helper, however you want to call it. Okay,
Is this under, are we still under new business?
yep. Oh, you know what? Actually,
Um,
you need to go back to old business, but go ahead. You can go ahead. New business. Go ahead, Commissioner
We
Lee.
can go back and then I'll chime in. I'm not sure where it falls, but. Can you hear me?
Okay.
There's a delay in my internet or whatever.
Okay, did you want to go to old business? Can we go to old business now? Would you like to present it there, or do you want to stay in new business and present it?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, you can go ahead since we're in new business. Is it
I
new?
have a delay in my internet. So I was curious about other commissioners like Mr. McAdory, because he hasn't been present for these meetings for the past few months, and I'm not sure about our attendance, like, what's going on with our attendance policy, because we had hashed that out before. And the new commissioner, I don't believe he's been here. It's hard to tell with numbers and all that stuff, but I would just like to check in about that with our office staff to find out what's going on with that, because again, I'm still on the mission of getting a full commission and having people here that are on the commission every week. So it's not those of us just, it's not a full working commission, and we need to continue to work for it to get to that place. That's very, very important.
Well, is it not in the bylaws very specific numbers of meetings they must attend annually?
Yes.
Well, I think the record would speak for itself, and if they're in violation of that, then they've opted to move themselves off this commission and should be reported to the county.
Have we heard
Yes, I
anything
agree.
from Commissioner Steiner at all? Has anyone heard anything from him or either his appointee from county council? Any of the staff?
No.
Yeah, I heard Commissioner McAdory was ill. I don't know what his current status is, but I heard Commissioner McAdory was ill, but I have not heard anything from Commissioner Steiner. Does anybody else have anything different to offer? Because those are the two commissioners whose attendance is in question.
Well, they're either in question or they've opted out. And
Well, they who have not met the attendance. We'll just say they have
Right.
not met the attendance guidelines.
right.
Yeah. Well, I think what we could do, and Chris, if you could help me with this, can we find out who appointed each of them? I think McAdory was appointed by City Council. Am I correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I know he's ill. I know he's had 2 surgeries. So I do know that, his status. But I haven't spoken to him recently. I spoke to him in March, right when the COVID thing had started, because he called and he's one of the reasons why we're doing the Zoom. He didn't suggest a Zoom, of course, but he asked how are we going to be moving the meetings forward in the middle of a pandemic, so he kind of sparked the idea and was one of the reasons why I started the teleconference calls. So he was still concerned about the work that we do, although he wasn't able to be present. I will say that. So Chris, if we could reach out to, first find out who the appointees are of Mr. Steiner, and also
Carl Anderson appointed John Steiner, I believe.
Yes, I believe that's correct. Is that correct, Mr. Harbison?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe we can shoot Mr. Anderson Councilman Anderson an email and just kind of see what the status is with Mr. Steiner, because we don't want to eliminate someone if, you know, we're in the middle of a crisis right now, our country is, and we don't want to get rid of someone because they've missed the days and we're assuming they're being neglectful. You know, we don't want to do that. So
Right.
we should at least reach out and see
Okay.
what's going on and then make a determination from there.
Have any of the office staff heard from him in any capacity?
From who?
Mr. Steiner?
Like I said, no.
Mr. Steiner.
Like I said, no.
I mean, it's been 6 months, I think. That's,
I'm aware of that, yes.
okay.
So the last time he attended a meeting was.
I mean, I agree.
I think we go at the
I'm just
direction of the
guessing,
chair.
but at least
Reach
6
out.
months.
I think we go at the direction of the chair and reach out through the appointing bodies and ask if they can follow up on it. And then if we don't get positive response, then we ask the appointing bodies reappoint another individual. And I think we just try to move forward.
Yes.
It's not trying to make any judgment on anybody, but if you say you're going to volunteer to do something and you don't,
No,
then you're really doing a bigger disservice.
Right. I agree.
absolutely.
So I guess we can move on from that one then too, huh?
Okay. Yep. All right. Going back to old business. The old business. Our last meeting, we talked about the Erie Reader ad. Director Logue, you said you were going to send us a copy of that, and I don't know if you have sent it out already and I missed it, but I think we're all excited to see what the Erie Reader ad looks like. Can we get a status on that, please?
Mr. Harbison, can you inform the commission?
Mr. Logue, that question was directed towards you, sir.
No, I'm sorry.
Right, I'm having my staff member inform the commission.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was still muted. The ad had run in the Erie Reader on March 11th. Due to the COVID thing, though, and the limited publication, there wasn't any publication in the Erie Reader for some time. They did continue with some of the ones that were online. There will actually be one tomorrow in tomorrow's published Erie Reader. It'll be a 1/6 of a page. We'll have 4 more, one for each month to go in the Erie in the Reader itself, and then there will be online ads then also to fulfill the content.
We were told the last meeting that they were running continuously. So is that not correct?
I don't know what was said last month, but from my understanding, because they weren't publishing any ads, there was no ads to publish. I mean, they couldn't be in the ad. So they weren't publishing any ads right now or any paper.
In last month, they did say that there was
Yeah.
a break due to COVID,
Right.
but we thought that they were again running and we were going to get
They
a
probably were still
copy.
they were probably still running the online ads, but not the print ads, not the hard copy ads.
Okay. Can we,
So-
and what we had asked for last month was a copy of that so we can see what's been
Right.
on.
Yeah, I would forward you to what I had sent to Doug earlier today, because I
Good.
wanted to make sure that this was already taken care of.
Great,
And
thanks.
Mr. Harbison, when did the online ads start? Did it start the same time as the physical printing
I
ads?
can't say for sure on that. I asked for Brian Graham to give me a call back so I could find out for sure what times those have been running. Because
Okay, yeah, because we
I've only seen them, but I haven't paid attention exactly what issues those were in.
Okay, yeah, definitely. If you could provide that information, that would be helpful because, I mean, we are paying for the ads. And so we want to know how frequent the ads are going to be run and where we can find those ads at as well.
Yeah, again,
How much did we pay for the ad?
a total of $1,200 for the run through the year. Again, that
Yeah,
would be 6 hard copy ads, and the rest would be the online.
Okay.
So would that be 6 online too?
I believe there's more than that. I'll have to get a clarification
Okay.
from Mr. Graham.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
Okay, also, with the black yellow pages, what have ever happened with that? I know that,
The gentleman here has been in the building from time to time. We had reached out to him previously. He was supposed to get back to us. I don't think a black yellow pages is going to happen.
Okay. I think that's what we said before. You thought the same thing before, Wayne.
Yeah,
So
we
it's
went
it-
with the Erie Reader. Yeah, I think that was my notes from before. We went with the Erie Reader because the black yellow pages was not moving forward.
okay, well,
Right.
I think if we want to reach the African American or a black community, I think that we should have another alternative in doing so. And a suggestion would be to provide a small ad that can go into the church bulletins. Although a lot of churches aren't meeting in full capacity, they are still mailing out church bulletins and tithe offering cards to their members. And I think this is something we can take advantage of because it's free. What all you would need to do is just contact the secretary at that church and tell them that you want to do an ad with the Human Relations Commission and you like it to appear forever how many weeks they can present it. But I think we can put in those bulletins who we are, what we do, and how to contact our office. I think that would be really beneficial. And like I said, it's free.
Yeah, a question I have, what all churches are we including? How many of the churches are we looking to try to target? I mean, are we talking all the ones in the yellow pages, or are we just talking a certain few?
I just want to jump in right, President. I just want to share with you. We can also contact the, I think it's called the New Black Wall Street. It's a new black organization, and you only have about 5 or 6 black churches. So not saying I would have time to do that, but I would certainly work with Ms. Pulliam Brown if you want to. We can get a list of the black churches. Now, Reverend Mark, they also have a congressional
Black Caucus.
Black Caucus, and Reverend Mark, very active with that, and he would certainly get the word. He would be the person to be the contact
Absolutely.
person. Yeah.
I would love to work with you on that, Commissioner Manis. Absolutely.
Again, we only going to contact the African American churches?
Well, we're saying that because the goal was to get the word out into the African American community. That was the reason why Mr. Lowe suggested that we put an ad in the black yellow pages because that is targeting the black community. So if we're not able to target the black community through the black yellow pages, then as I said, an alternative would be, if we're seeking to do that, which I believe we are, I would hope so. So the alternative would be to reach out to those churches.
Well, Chairwoman Pulliam, yes, I did bring that up, and that is correct, and I'll stand by that. But now looking at everything, because we do serve, unfortunately, other people that are discriminated against, whether that's somebody who maybe has special needs, maybe has disabilities, housing issues.
Right.
So what I think we need to do then is maybe do a study of some of the larger congregations, whether that be Catholic, Jewish, Protestant, African American, and look at those churches and then place ads within their bulletins that they would send out or hand out, whatever the situation might be in that individual church. Because discrimination just doesn't happen on one level. Unfortunately, it happens on many. So
Well,
thank you for making me think about that.
Okay, absolutely. Well, again, my suggestion came by way of what you were recommending and what your goal was. And your goal was to put something in the black yellow pages for the black community. I am definitely not opposed to expanding our marketing. I'm not opposed to that at all, but I was making an alternate suggestion since we were just going to do away with the black yellow pages. And that statement, I didn't really appreciate that statement. So we need to look for alternative ways to target those populations that would be in need of the services. So yes, absolutely. If you would like to help us collectively, Connie and I can come up with a list. If the staff would like to come up with a list, we can bring those lists together and begin sending out information for the church bulletins. Absolutely.
Could this actually be brought, we're a small organization within the county. Could this be something that could be more even county-led? And and actually be led, because the county itself may have even more resources to explain not just our organization, but other services that the county could offer to people, which might be able to reach more people, might even have a different approach to how to make this happen. Just throwing that idea out there.
What type of services are you referring to? Just, you're talking about county-wide services?
Countywide services. For instance, I mean, I think we tend to forget there's issues in Corey, there's issues in Albion, there's issues all over our county's actually bigger than we think. We get what I want to call blinders on being in Erie, the big city, and you go to Union City, as Tony Logue said, there's other issues in Union City than there are in Erie, as there are in Corey, is there, you know, it's just a different world. So I almost wonder whether the county itself would have any kind of program or outreach program that we could dovetail into.
Well, I think we can get to that. I don't want to think too broad, and I want to make the example how we're starting with the youth program, and that youth program is starting, I believe, in Mill Creek. A lot of people wanted the youth program to start in the city of Erie because most of our cases come from the city of Erie. We believe that needs to be more diverse. However, the starting point is going to be in Mill Creek. And so I think moving with this, you know, the starting point should be, you know, with the African-American churches, and also expanding those churches so that we can reach more churches, so that we can have a more diverse broad. I think we should start there. If we expand it too much too soon, we will get lost in the focus. But I do want to revisit that, Mr. Martin. I think that's a really good point, and something that we should definitely look at doing in the near future.
Okay, thank you. And I, unfortunately, is there anything we have to vote on tonight? Because I have another function I have to get to.
Sir, I think we're done here. We're our next on the agenda is the adjournment.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Can I make a motion?
Hey, I'll second it.
Okay.
All right. You guys all continue to be safe, and good night, all right?
You too. Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye. Take care. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Be safe, everybody. Have a great night.
Good night.
Take care.
Thank you. Thanks for the nice meeting,
Chris.
Swante. Good job.
Oh, thank you, all of you. I couldn't do
Yeah.
it without you
Good.
guys.
Good leadership.
Leadership.
Thank you.
Very well. So give me a call at some point and we'll get that list together. Tracy,
Yes,
you can
ma'am.
jump in with us too. Okay. Okay.
Yes,
See you
ma'am.
later. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye, everybody.